So I'm getting ready to take and paint my garage, and before I gotta go do that, I gotta pressure wash it. So what I'm gonna do is all this little dirt that you see up through here, I'm gonna take and pressure wash it down, clean it up really well, let it dry, and then tomorrow, hopefully if it's dry enough, we'll put down the first primer type coat, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I decided not to use Lowe's or Home Depot's type of epoxy paint. That stuff only really lasts a couple years. I've had it in my garages before and it just really doesn't last. So I went to Pittsburgh Paint, and I got the commercial grade that they typically use inside of garages. And so that's what I'm going to use, and the guy told me how to use it, especially on this smooth concrete. This concrete that I have into the garage is smooth, and so he actually told me how to go do that, and the paint won't come up. So stay tuned and we'll see how this all turns out. So I purchased one of the round heads that you put on your pressure washer to do the floor. It saved a lot of time rather than just using the wand off of your pressure washer. I think I ended up doing the garage in about 2 hours or less. So here I am starting to put down the solution that I made. I actually put the gallon of the color, the gallon of the part B, which is the hardener, and then a gallon of the xylene, which is the thinner. I found that it actually went better that way, and I wanted it soaking into that concrete because being that the concrete was smooth, it makes it harder for paint to actually grip onto this. So the whole purpose of this was to soak into the concrete and create a bonding that the other paint would actually bond onto. And then I'm expecting all this to take and dry in, and I'll show you a picture here soon in regards to after the floor was completely completed, how it was spotchy. And that was perfect because it was done exactly what I wanted it to do in regards to soaking down to the concrete. It's really, really worked out well, and I'm glad that I used the commercial paint. It's much better than what you will find. So you notice here the spotchiness of the floor. It turned out perfect in regards to what I was trying to achieve. So here I am starting to edge and trim out around the floor. I'm trimming around the sides, painting the sides, and then laying down like a 2-inch roller around the edges so that I don't have to bring that roller all the way up there. I decided that when I was putting down the primer coat that putting it on the sides of the wall wasn't necessary, but I did find that if I had done that, I think this coat here would have gone on quicker and easier. I found that there was the paint not just soaked into it, but wasn't smooth enough to go across that concrete. So next time, if I ever do this again, which I hope I don't, but if I ever do this again, then I would take all the surfaces that I would paint, and I would prime them up with that solution that I had in regards to the one part of A, which is the color, and then part B, and then the gallon of xylene. I would have done that. As a matter of fact, I probably poured out, a gallon and a half of that solution, thinking that I was not going to have enough when I did the 3 gallons together, but I had more than enough to complete all of it. So it worked out really, really well. And then I simply just took a brush, a roller, and just started rolling it. I did find that by pouring it on the floor that it wasn't smoothed out or as thin out as it possibly could have been. I actually ended up just starting and pulling the paint straight out of the bucket rather than pouring it on the floor. I found that was actually easier, and I got it to the right consistency, thickness that I wanted in regards to the floor. So there was a little differences in all that. So here I am putting the final coat down onto the floor, painting it, and then I'm also using the sprinkles to throw into the floor. Now, Sprinkles are not necessarily just for, what I want to say, aesthetics, for color and that sort of thing. It actually, if you leave the floor painted without putting these down, if you have any water or anything along those lines that actually drops onto the floor, it becomes very slick. And so these sprinkles, while they are decorative in general, they do take and keep you from sliding in case the water gets on the floor, or oil or any of that type of stuff. If it gets onto the floor, you'll find that these will keep you from sliding and having a little accident in regards to it. So I continue to put the final coat down. I throw the sprinkles out as much as I can in regards to it. Some's a little thick, some's a little heavy. Eventually, the ones that's thick will have, they'll actually fall off eventually, and the ones that stick to the floor will actually stick there, and it'll be great. But it turned out well. The floor turned out well. It took me about 2.5, maybe 3 hours to take and do the floor. So this is the final floor. It turned out well, and as you can see, it really, really did turn out to be a nice looking floor, especially with the color. Well, here he is in the finish of the garage, and first of all, for all those people that's in Houston and the outlying areas, I really feel sorry for all your folks and the water and the electric. We had the same thing here, and it was a couple trying 2 or 3 days there, I'll tell you that. So I hope everyone fares well in regards to that. But in regards to my garage, I had to put it all back together quickly because that snowstorm was coming in. And I had to get my boat back from the marina. It was in there for service. And so I had a lot of things. And I really wanted to show you how everything went back together. But with that being said, the garage is back together. We've got the boat into it. We got the little pieces of my mower and everything. The floor came out better than I would have ever thought it would come out. So in looking at it and looking at the floor and everything along that lines, it really came out very, very good. Very, very good. So I'm happy with that, happy the way it turned out. It wasn't as hard to do it as I thought it was going to be, but it was long. You had to clean the floor. That took a day. Put down the primer and stuff, in which I did. That took a day, and then the final coat, that took a day. Now, I'll have to say that this stuff dried in 2 days. In 2 days, I could drive on it. I'd probably recommend 3 days if you had it, but I didn't have it, so in 2 days, I had to bring everything in off the porch and so forth to bring it inside. So there you go. It's all finished. Really did turn out to be a fine job, and I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. So I hope you guys learned something from this. I certainly did as well. And I'll never go to Lowe's or Home Depot to buy my paint for my flooring. I will always go to the paint store. Better quality paint, easier to put down, and those guys truly know how to go do it. So I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much. And if you would, subscribe. Appreciate it. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Look at the video and even your comments. So leave your comments. I'll be glad to take and answer those as I come along. Take care, and God bless.